Welcome to the Four Listeners Program. Welcome aboard, everybody. Thanks for checking us out this week. What up? I'm Spear. On the mics with me this week, we have the mighty Ganthor. What up, Ganthor?
Yo, how you doing?
I'm alright. How are you?
Okay. We had a little time off last week.
A little time off, yeah. We took a break. We got another show without the Z-Man this week. This is now 2 in a row. Eventually, the Z-Man will return from his travels in the Serengeti, or wherever the fuck he's doing. But what are we doing this week, Ganthor? What do we got on tap?
Going to a wedding tomorrow night. I will probably drink way too much. And that's all I got going on.
I mean, on the show.
Oh, on the show. So, you know how there's a certain social responsibility you have as a hygienic person?
Sure. Yeah, we've touched on this. We talked about manscaping and the.
Well, that's the more intimate side of things. I certainly hope you don't go out exposing your pubic hairs or whatever, but
Not all the time.
oh, so you have.
But let's just carry on.
Okay. Yeah, I don't want people to get too suspicious of you, but
Yeah, I appreciate
so anyway, there's certain social responsibility you have as a person. You generally try to shower, at least not be stinky, not be sweaty, wear deodorant, not have BO, and if you're a woman, shave your fucking face. I don't know any other way to put it, but it's like walking around with crusty boogers hanging out of your nose. Take care of the problem.
It's unseemly.
Maybe I know you can't help it. I mean, I'm not saying you have to get laser hair removal, but at least buy a Mach 5.
Or whatever the women's equivalent is.
Yeah, use a Venus. I don't give a shit. Just you run it over your face, because I'm pretty sure the woman I saw that day had more facial hair than I did.
Was it dark facial hair? Like
It was dark and it was thick.
and she was just rocking it like a mustache.
Just totally no shame whatsoever. No, it was like mustache, goatee, pubescent teenage boy shit.
Yeah, I've seen that, and I've even seen it. It's even worse when it's like the light blonde type of hair that you have to, like, when you get up close you see it.
Like Kate Upton.
Yeah, and then it's like, wax that,
Yeah, or I don't know how you can not do something.
Well, what's worse is that I don't know how to say something about it.
Yeah, see, absolutely not as a stranger, but like you would think a friend or your significant other, assuming you were fortunate enough to have one, would say, "Sweetheart, I love you, but you look like a fucking dickhead."
Well, yeah, wax that. Like I knew this girl in high school, good looking girl, but she had this like mustache that like kind of the lighter hair, but it was still thick enough that it was very noticeable. And it's like what do you do? There's a girl you kind of like her. What do you say to her?
Yeah. I don't know what you can do, but it's just like, how do you? I mean, see, this is where if we had a hairy-faced female listener, we could have her as a guest and say, why don't you do something about it?
Right, because that's the kind of conversation that people are going to come on a podcast to talk about.
Well, I mean,
why
they
are
might
you
have
so
a
fucking
very
hairy?
good reason for not doing it, which I would like to hear. I'm just saying, it's kind of, you lose respect. It's like if they had a booger on their face, or they're walking around with their ass crack showing all day.
Yeah, but it's not like a booger on the face, because I can't just go up with a tissue and rub that shit off.
Well, no, but it's you could do so. You would respect the person the same way if they were walking around with a booger on their face.
I don't know. I mean, a booger happens,
Dude, I check all the. I'm paranoid about loose boogers.
Understood, but a booger happens every now and again. Walking out the door with a mustache.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
No, you can miss a booger.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I'm just saying, like, if I'm, if we're talking, like, I'm interviewing you or whatever, or we're speed dating, and you got booger on your face, it's not happening,
Yeah.
So just imagine that times 1,000, and that's what you get with ugly ass facial hair.
Agreed. Something must be done about that.
Yeah. And I'm genuinely curious why women don't do stuff like that.
So the other thing, so it's hair in general though on women, and we'll get into the men's side of this too in a minute. But the other unseemly thing is leg hair on a woman, and this is
Oh yeah.
this is the this is where it gets weird. It gets weird because this is the socially acceptable thing, right?
No, I refuse. Well, yeah.
Right. Well,
It,
it is socially unacceptable for women not to shave their legs. Agreed.
I agree
Right.
wholeheartedly.
So it's one thing to walk around like you've seen women walking around with just kind of like hairy legs, right?
Unfortunately, yes.
Right. So that's bad enough. I was in an unfortunate circumstance where I was at work. It was one of my very first jobs, and I'm in the break area, and I see this woman come in who's wearing kind of a business suit,
This
hair.
kind of sounds like a porno.
No, 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 no. Trust me, not after I finish the story. Hair all
Are you
done up.
sure?
Yeah, pretty sure. Hair all done up. Business suit on. She goes to make herself some coffee, and she's wearing, pantyhose, like nude color pantyhose. But when you look at her legs, they were all hairy, and like the hair was just kind of like matted down and kind of tucked into the pantyhose,
Like she was trying to hide it?
like she was trying to hide it.
That is about the worst thing you could do.
And it's like, and there were a few like stragglers that actually popped out of the
Ew.
pantyhose. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. I
Ew,
mean,
no.
yeah, that's what I'm
So
saying.
I can understand you have it, you're bloated or crampy or you're just having a bad day and you don't feel like shaving your legs. Wear some fucking pants. Please.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. Don't try to hide it with the pantyhose. That's
Right, and don't just leave it out there like you don't care.
yeah, I
You,
agree.
I mean, it's just not right in the world when a woman's legs aren't smooth.
Yeah, that's a socially acceptable norm, and I
It,
think that's a universally socially accepted norm. The thing that's not universally accepted is the armpits.
armpit, yeah.
Yeah,
I've never encountered that. I don't know how I would react. I don't think I'd like it, but
never caught a hairy armpit.
nope.
Really?
No, I'm talking like full out bush hair.
I've certainly encountered that. Right, the not shaved kind of bushy arm hair. I've seen it.
Really?
Yeah,
Well,
it's
wait, no. I've seen it for sure. I mean, encountered it like up close and personal.
yeah. That's what I'm saying. I've encountered it.
What?
It's off putting. It was a girl in college.
Did you think you were with a dude?
No, she had all the right parts.
Yeah, but
She just had a little extra hair. You know what I'm saying?
intentionally?
I'm assuming so. I mean, I don't know if she was on like testosterone treatments or something along those lines, but she had a little extra.
You never asked her?
How do you bring that up? It goes back to the mustache thing. How do you
No,
bring?
you just be so. What's
What?
going on down there?
So, why are you so goddamn hairy? How do you ask that question?
You know you can shave that, right?
What the fuck? That's a hard question to ask.
Yeah.
So no, I didn't ask. I didn't inquire. I was
Alright.
not curious.
Alright.
Certainly not curious enough to pose the question. But that's not that like Europeans.
Yeah, but Europeans are fucking weird. All right, don't use them as a basis for anything
Why not?
for norm because they're fucking weird.
Well, because they drive on the other side of the road. I
No,
mean,
oh no.
because they use the metric system.
No, I
What?
like the metric system.
Well, then why are they so weird?
You've been to Germany, right?
I have.
Did you notice any particular prevalence in man wedgie over there?
Man wedgie.
Yeah,
You mean like the way they wear their clothes? I mean, I wasn't really looking at
yeah.
man ass. If that's what
The
you're
way
asking.
the way the pants are hiked up,
I wasn't really looking at the man ass.
it's pretty hard not to notice. Because when I was in Germany, man wedgie was prevalent everywhere.
Why were you looking at man ass?
Because it's unavoidable when the wedgies are that distinct. And
I think that's a rationalization in your own head there,
no,
Ganthor.
no. First off, the dudes wear capris, which is not right, and then they hike their shit up so high that you can distinguish cheeks. I'm not joking, dude. It was not. No, it was not right.
Why were you looking so friggin'
Dude, I'm
close?
telling you, you can't help but notice after a while. You're walking around, you're like, something's not right
Look
here.
away.
Something's not right. And you're like, I just don't know what it is. And then you realize you look in the one spot and you're like, wedgie. And then you turn your head and you see wedgie and wedgie. You keep turning your head and you spin around in circles.
It's like it's like a nightmare
Yeah,
situation.
exactly. And you're like, oh my God. So that's why you never trust a European
All right,
for
fair.
any normalization
Because of
purposes.
German man wedgie.
Yeah.
Right. Good tip.
So anyway, where were we?
I have no idea. We were on
No.
we were on hair,
Armpit hair.
armpit hair. Do you shave your armpit hair?
No,
Do you trim it?
no.
Why not?
I never felt the need to.
Why is it socially unacceptable for a woman to have armpit hair?
What are you, a feminist?
I'm asking.
Women are just more pleasant that way,
Women are more pleasant that way.
more beautiful.
And what about armpit hair adds to the aesthetics of a man?
I wouldn't say, see, men are just, I mean, it's the whole masculine thing.
Is there something to be said that the more hair you have as a man, the more attractive, the more
No, I
manly you
wouldn't say
are,
attractive, but I would say
the
the
more
more
masculine,
masculine, yeah.
more masculine.
Yeah.
So what would you say about men who shave their bodies?
I've known a few people, few guys who do that. I'm actually good friends with one, and it was weird
What was weird about it?
that he shaved his legs and was not shy about it.
Shaved his legs. Was he a swimmer?
Nah, well, he swam and he was a biker, but I think those was just bullshit excuses. Because unless you're like a competitive swimmer or a competitive biker, there's really no need.
Well, there may be a need if you're like a yeti.
Like a Sasquatch,
Yeah.
where it creates so much drag that it measurably reduces your performance. Okay,
Well, I mean,
I'll give you that.
yeah,
But
measurably. I don't know if it adds drag while you're walking. I don't know, but I had a buddy in college who, when he took his shirt off, it looked like a sweater. And we were in a fraternity, and one of the things that he made the pledges do was to shave his back, and this happened twice a year.
that sounds like more of a punishment for him than for them.
Nah, man. I mean, it was crazy. They came in with the clippers and everything. It was like giving him a haircut.
Well, I mean, that's pretty disgusting. Can you imagine that growing back in? How itchy that must have been.
But it was a necessity. I mean, this guy had he was like a yeti.
So he was a monkey, pretty much.
Yeah, it was crazy, and that, I mean, this is what he did, and I don't think he did it for aesthetic reasons. He did it, I think, out of, I don't know, maybe he needed bigger clothes or something because he needed to get like an extra large to fit it over all the hair.
Yeah, I mean, he could have legitimate reasons for that, but being a normal dude shaving your legs because you ride a bike or swim, it's just weird. It
Yeah.
ain't right. It's like seeing somebody without eyebrows. Something's not normal there.
So where do you come down on the shaving of the chest? Because I know a lot of guys who do this.
I think it's just, I don't know. I wouldn't do it. I'm not proud of my chest hair, but I'm not ashamed of it.
Well, do you have a lot of it?
It's hard to tell because it's blonde, so
So it's really not a problem. But if you have a huge, great patch of dark, curly, whatever.
well, yeah. If it was dark hair, I'd probably do something because dark hair is just gross.
See that? But that's for aesthetics.
Yeah,
Yeah. So now, but does that cut into the masculinity thing? Because now we're at odds with something we said 3 minutes ago.
yeah. Well, I'm just yeah. I'm stuck.
Oh no!
Help me, beer.
Contradiction.
No. There's a way out of this. I'm just
Hold on, let me get another sip of beer.
yeah.
Let me take two. Maybe it'll help my argument.
I only have about 1.5 left. So
Oh God! What do you do, Ganthor?
I'm not gonna. I would not shave my chest.
You would not shave your chest.
Nope, I would keep it unless
Regardless.
my significant other said, "Shave your chest."
Well, there's a masculine response.
I fully admit that I have no balls.
That's a masculine response.
My balls are purely vestigial at this point.
As people everywhere type that into Google to figure out what the fuck that was. So I know a very good friend of mine shaves his chest, but he doesn't wax it. He's another one of those Yeti type of guys, just really hairy, and he shaves it down. I think he does it. I know he does it actually because he thinks that makes him more sexy.
See, I think it's not. I wouldn't say more sexy. I would say less hideous.
Less hideous. Well, there you go.
Right? It's like the second derivative, right?
Yep. Yeah, but he doesn't wax though, and that's the other thing. Like the men who wax their chest, that I don't get at all.
Yeah, that's just hubris. If you have a naturally hairless chest, good for you.
Right. But if you're going out of your way to wax it,
Yeah.
and from all accounts, that shit hurts. I saw the
Yeah, you
40-year-old
saw that
version,
movie.
right?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm not yelling out, names of pop stars. You know what I'm
Kelly
saying?
Clarkson.
Right. That shit looks painful, and maybe that's why the women don't wax the mustache because that shit hurts.
Yeah, but you can at least shave. I highly doubt you'll get a 5 o'clock shadow
No,
as a woman.
probably not. But the other. So there are other ways to do this, right? There's the shaving, there's the waxing, and I see all kinds of weird things. Like in the mall, they have those stands or those booths where you can go and they pluck out eyebrow
Oh
hair
yeah, with the string.
with the string.
Yep.
Oh my god, that looks painful.
Oh, see, that doesn't. I don't know about that, but like, I mean, you have to be at least self-conscious of this stuff some way. And maybe you're trying to be, oh, I'm happy with my bushy eyebrows. It's who I am. I mean, okay, good for you, but
Well, the way you get away with the bushy eyebrows is by having big boobs. Like Anne Hathaway will get away with it. Well, because
no,
people aren't looking at her eyebrows, man. The eyes are
no.
down.
I'm looking at them.
You're looking. So
The only way you get away with the big bushy eyebrows is if you're an old fucking man.
So how's that go? How's that go for guys too? Should guys trim the eyebrows too?
Definitely.
Definitely.
Especially if it's unibrow.
I'm not talking about the unibrow. I'm talking about just the
The
trim.
caterpillar. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you kind of look ridiculous.
So what's fair is fair then, right? We're not singling out one half of the species here. What's fair is fair.
Well, certain parts we are, but certain parts we aren't. Yeah, this is one of the gender neutral recommendations.
All right on. Well, good. Let's be fair.
Yeah.
Let's be fair. What's good for men, what's good for women is good for men, vice versa. Let's be fair about this, Ganthor. There's no need to single out. Make this a man versus.
We're not misogynists here.
No, we're not making this out to be a man versus woman thing.
Yeah.
Let's be fair.
It's just what's right for the human body, if I have to look at it.
Right. Where do you come down on the different types of mustaches that men can rock? Like for me, I think the mustache. I can't. Maybe it's because I personally can't rock a mustache. I can't get one to come in right. But I mean, the only way you should be wearing a mustache is if you're Tom Selleck.
I agree. Or Wyatt Earp.
Wyatt Earp. Okay. So where do you come down on the? And I want to get this right because there's been some confusion for me on this one in particular. The handlebar, is the handlebar the one that you can kind of twirl up, or is the handlebar the kind of the goatee without the chin?
No, the handlebar is the one that twirls up at the end.
Twirl up, right?
Yep.
Like, do you think? Where do you come down on the handlebar?
You're just being pretentious these days if you do that.
Really? Because I'm thinking the handlebar needs to come back.
I think they're all stupid, actually.
So you're not a fan of facial hair on a guy?
I'm not a fan of mustaches or anything.
Where
As
do
a joke, because I only shave like once a week, once every 2 weeks. When it was time, I shaved off everything except the mustache, and I kept it for like 3 hours, and then I just couldn't take myself seriously. I'm like, you look fucking ridiculous. Get rid of it. So I was gonna go to work. It's like a joke,
Yeah,
and
you would have taken all manner of shit.
yeah. Well, I did. They give me shit when I wear a suit. I rock the suit. I'm like, I'm gonna show you, but I'm gonna make fun of my wardrobe.
You're a natty dresser.
What does that mean?
You dress well. You
Oh,
have,
thanks, buddy.
yeah, you have a fine choice of wardrobe.
Thank
I
you.
must say.
See, they make fun of my fancy Converse that don't have shoelaces because they're not meant to. They make fun of my awesome ass blazers that I get from fancy fashion houses.
A real man can just wear that stuff, though, and just say,
Yeah.
fuck you.
That's exactly what I did.
You're going to pull off a blazer like that, you just got to wear it and say, you know
Yep.
what, I'm wearing this thing. Fuck your
Exactly.
mom.
Lick my
I'm with you,
balls.
Ganthor. I'm with you. I support you in your
Thank you.
in your sartorial endeavors there.
Thank you. I like the word you sprung there.
There you go. Well, we're all about vocabulary here tonight, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Trying to educate you.
That's right. So what did we learn about hair, about facial hair? What did we learn?
If you're a woman, you should not have it.
Agreed. And if you're a man, you should
Also not have it.
well, you should have leg hair, right? You should have armpit hair. You should have
Right.
hair.
Yes.
And you should not have I personally think you should have a handlebar mustache. We should bring that back.
You start, I'll judge, and then we'll see.
Oh, dude, I'm totally going to grow a handlebar mustache.
I'm calling you out.
All right. I'm on it.
Calling you out.
I'm on it. All right. So if you want to see me rock a handlebar mustache, why don't you go ahead and post it on the Facebook page, facebook.com/4listeners or 4listeners.com. We'll get you right there. I swear I'll do this. I'll take pictures. I'll post them up. I don't give a shit. Check us out on iTunes. Just search for 4 Listeners and we'll pop right on up. And I'll say this. I haven't said this in 80-some-odd shows. Point your podcaster at feeds.feedburner.com/4listeners if you are not one of these Apple fanboys like Ganthor over there.
Whatever.
We thank you for checking us out this week, and we hope that you will check us out again next week. Thanks a bunch, everybody.
Blow it, show it, long as I can blow it my hair.